in, or what was it on that end?
Yeah, they do a really good job switching. They're really physical. They blow you up. FA's been playing really well tonight. I thought he had some good touches. He didn't get positioned as well as what we would have liked. But again, this is how we've won games, and unfortunately, this is how we've lost games. Some guys could have made some passes for sure in the paint, but they were aggressive, and we've won a lot of games them doing that.
Yeah, 34-2 on the bench points. Their bench was able to come in and affect the game. And you played your starters a lot of minutes. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, Dusty played 26. Will played 16. Dennis had opportunity. Caleb Smith had a layup at the rim. He had opportunity. Hard to win when you can't go to your bench and your bench doesn't give you production. So we need better production from them, yes.
And then on the assisted turnovers, 15 turnovers, 9 assists. It felt like the ball kind of stalled at times, especially late in the game.
Yeah,
just any thoughts on
that?
Yeah,
I think it stalled late. I thought early in the game, the 9 turnovers in the first half really hurt. And, right on our board before the game, I had, be strong with the ball. And, most of those turnovers were us either dribbling it to them or them swiping it right out of our hands and going the other way. So that was a big key, being strong with it. We were able to get that lead at the end. We had some drives. Some of our guys, just to be honest, they got scared to shoot on the perimeter when we were kicking it out, and they were passing up shots that, when we've won games, they've made those shots. And so, we have to get back to guys shooting with confidence and taking those shots, because if we break the defense down and we kick it out, we have an open 3. If you miss that one, chances are you're not going to get as good a look the rest of the possession. And that happened, sometimes tonight. Then I thought that hurt our offense too.
And your one kind of bright spot, Makai looked incredible, confident, took good shots, 10 of 19 from the field. Can you just talk about his play, how much you relied on him tonight?
Yeah, he had a big part, obviously, in that run, to get back in the game. That there were some plays that he just made great individual, one-on-one scores. But again, we've done well. We've had, 3-4 guys in double figures, and tonight we only had 2, and that's not enough to win.
Coach, was there any conversation from the refs to you regarding that double technical? Was it just kind of jawing back and forth, hey, we want to take control of the game? Or?
Yeah, I think so. And so, they called it both ways. So as long as it's both ways, I like consistency, so I was fine with it.
Can I ask too about, you've had a few games where you guys have been down maybe 8-10, and then at the end you make these furious runs. How do you kind of get some of that urgency earlier in the game?
Yeah, the last 2 games we played with that urgency for 40 minutes. Unfortunately, the urgency wasn't there from the get-go. We had some momentum plays. We had 2-on-1 fast break. We don't give it up to Jaden to dunk it. Some things that really could have gave us juice early. We didn't make the right play at the right time, and then we got into really physical game. But I thought we had some chances there. We had the layup to make it a 6-point lead with 2 minutes left in the half. That could have been a big momentum play. And it seemed like every big momentum play, we either made the wrong play, we missed a shot, and then credit them. They came down every time we got some momentum. They would make some shots on there and to get it right back.
How is it kind of defending them? They seem more than comfortable. Took 33s, and they seem to just be comfortable to just keep casting. Is that tough to just continue to close out hard?
Yeah, when you're bigger like we are with FA and Nana, when they're shooting many threes, you have to take advantage on the inside. 24 minutes, 2 rebounds, that's not taking advantage on the inside. Other games he has, like at their place, and we were much more dominant. But, if you're bigger, you've got to control the paint. And, us being bigger, we got out-rebounded, can't happen, because then you might as well go play small ball like them and shoot a bunch of threes. But we've been winning playing bigger. Unfortunately, we just didn't control the ball in the paint like we have in other games.
Big game coming up. Brennan and I were talking about it. The range kind of widens. 1 seed still a reality. 7 seed also still a reality. Big game Wednesday. Anything looking forward there? Yeah,
one thing is I'll say some of our guys haven't had meaningful games in March and in late February, and today was a very meaningful game. And so we got 4 very meaningful games left, and then the conference tournament. And some switch needs to flip that we play. We bottle up again those last 2 games on the road, and we can bring that to our home court, because we're a really good team when we do that. When we don't, we can lose to anybody in the league on any night.
Caleb shot out of the boot. Obviously, he would have been a perfect fit
Yeah,
for tonight's
yeah.
game. But any word on him, and if you're going to be able to get him back over the next
Yeah, I
few
mean, we
weeks?
definitely miss his shooting. You know, I think you see teams collapse in the paint, and you see some guys that were scared to shoot tonight. Others we didn't make shots. We got to make shots to keep the paint open for FA and for our guards. And so we miss him. He's rehabbing. Our staff's doing a great job trying to get him back. But right now it's not a foreseeable future. So these are the guys we have, and we got to make more plays with these guys.